Yeah. Who's in charge then today?
Chairman.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's a public hearing, so I guess we're all probably, in a sense, part of the process.
Oh. Well, he's not gonna be here. Yeah. Well, you record pretty good. Yeah, thanks, feeling pretty good. Yeah. You? Yeah. Companies. Yeah. Thanks for all. Yeah. Just. Yeah. Yeah, oh, I missed something. Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. Not been doing that. Yeah. I've been pretty. Yeah. Yeah. No. Hey, Lucas.
Mr. Ben's happening. Way too weird of a camera. Someone else.
Did you get that wind up by one over there?
No, I don't think so. No, we missed that first one.
Yeah.
We
got hail.
What's that?
We got hail that time, nothing serious, but.
Yeah.
I got a real high on the calling line. I was putting fuel on the tractor and all of a sudden started drop rain, you know, what's that hell is this? You're all 1:00 in the afternoon. So, you come, get in there right now, got to the pickup and it just poured and went out on the highway and it healed so bad. Huh? It's stripped the corner. Oh, it's just, but there's one on the other two. You know, Bruce.
Yeah, the kid had already died.
Yeah, they went there. You know, bring them back.
I don't know if there's any, but make sure.
Actually, the one that was kind of on the, well, June 15th was better than some of the stuff that was kind of on the May 15th. Either. I know, you look around it, feel, oh, but the hell's good. Every, and that's so, and even some shit that found by, you got it right here. And you got a pound of shit and- You can't set it still. No way. Like the kind of point in town by Michigan. March.
Okay, it's 1:00. I'll reconvene the meeting with the public hearing. Consider the ditch authority transfer to the Boyd Sioux watershed. We'll mention that we are being recorded and it's public, published on our website. And also, if you're, have in public comment, I'd like to limit the time, for each discussion point to about 3 minutes. And then we'll proceed. I'll maybe ask Aaron, do you want to start out with any comments from your department, Aaron?
I guess if the board makes the motion and it passes, I'm not gonna just wipe my hands clean of this. I'm gonna be helping the Boy to Sue and Troy especially, getting them rolling, showing them what needs to be done on these ditches. So I'm not gonna just wipe my hands clean of it, so.
Lucas, do you have things to add before we open for public
Yeah, so-
comment?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. If you want, I can provide a little synopsis of what we're doing today. And then if you want to just open it up to the public for public comment, we can take any public comment that anyone might have, obviously limited to 3 minutes as you discussed. And then after that, if the board so chooses, they can pass an order to transfer the ditch authority from the county to the Boy to Sue. Presented a draft order to all of you, so you can take a look at that. But yeah, so today, the hearing is done under 103D 625 subdivision 1 to transfer this authority. The county has previously transferred ditch authority to the Boy to Sue for Grant County ditches 21 and 3. So we'll do that same process if you guys so desire for 12 ditches that are within the Boy to Sue's territory that are currently under the jurisdiction of Grant County. Aaron has a list of the 12 ditches. If you want, he can go through all those ditch numbers for you. Those will be included within this draft order, along with any public comment that is presented today. This process is relatively straightforward considering what's being done here. Aaron published notice in the paper of this hearing. We've had informal landowner meetings prior to this hearing, so the landowners are aware that the county was going to be having this hearing at some point. Got input from people, and also note too that there are managers here from the Boy to Sue, so if there's any questions of any of the managers, I obviously represent the Boy to Sue from a legal standpoint. We don't have any engineers here today from the Boy to Sue, but they said I can play engineer today, so I'll try to answer any questions that they would typically answer. And I, we're kind of here for the landowners, so any questions or concerns that they may have, we can certainly provide responses to them. Hopefully clear up any confusion that might be out there, and hopefully you guys desire to transfer the ditches to the Boy to Sue.
Okay. We'll now open it up for public comment. Questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it was my understanding that once this transfer takes place, it's in perpetuity, like forever, you cannot turn it back to the county, is that true?
Yeah, as of right now, the way the statute is drafted, the county has the ability to transfer the ditch systems to the watershed district. There's not a reverse process for the watershed to send it back to the county.
Okay.
Yes, Mark.
Is there a priority list on which ditch numbers are gonna start with maintenance?
It goes in order by how you, apply for it.
And typically, we do, once Troy's talked about different ways of looking at how we look at going through the maintenance regime. Typically in the ditches we're currently administered, we have a 3-year rotation that every 30 years, those ditches are fully inspected, sprayed, and done. But of course, if there's anything that's brought up, try.
I imagine we're gonna have to do a lot of work before we get them into rotation.
So that's the big question of how we pull that in.
And we do go through every year, and I was the originator of this. Used to be every year we'd go through every ditch and how much money was in it, and what work had been done and well, why the hell do that when it was done a year ago? So now we have I think it's a red, green and blue, whatever the colors are, And those ones that are green are the ones that need to be addressed right now, or in the near future, within a year or two. Those are the ones we put our priority on. And then we go down to the next one. And that's how once we have, if we do get them in our system, once they're in our system, I would say within a year and with the help from Grand County's engineer, we're gonna know which ones are the priority, and that's how we deal with it. You know, it's just like cancer, you get it when it's small and you got a better chance of getting rid of it than you do when it's run on the key. And
Yeah, so Mr. Chair, I'll just add to that. So the process that they're describing right now is the inspection process, which is, you know, that 3-year rotation where Troy, the engineer technician, is just going through and checking all the ditch systems, seeing if they need to be sprayed, seeing if they need any minor repairs. He's authorized to do certain work up to a certain dollar amount. So those are the projects that they're referencing. Landowners also have the ability to petition for a repair, petition for an improvement, and if the landowners do that, then the void of sue is obligated to work on that project in accordance with the statute, regardless of timeline. And so they will just include that within the project list. And again, that's if the project is petitioned by the landowners. The process that they're talking about is a different process, but
Does
that's how
that
I've been doing projects.
answer your question, Mark?
And if you just got small little stuff, just call Troy. He's got a authority to go to one.
Right.
He's got as long as it doesn't exceed a huge amount, he can just go in there and clean the location himself without going through a lengthy process.
And anything he's done like that, he's called one of the board members
Right,
in
if it
there,
gets to
he's
be-
called me several times, we did 2 or 3 of them this spring. Small issues that had to be addressed. And some of them were done without a permit 20 years ago or whatever that we didn't have any record of. And the thing about, the advantages for Grand County of having us do it is we're consistent. You know, we have several other counties we're doing this for. Troy, all he cares about is the water gets to Winnipeg. And that's from here, and the fastest and the most efficient way of doing it without harming anybody. And sometimes we all know what rain does, but it gives us more, instead of saying, oh geez, it should have been Grand County doing this here part and stuff, you have consistency with everything you're doing. And that doesn't, you know,
Yeah,
I'm from Elm Lake, I'm gonna make sure my people up here have a voice in what they wanna do.
But counties don't mean nothing to us, it's the whole watershed.
Right.
That's what we work on, is the whole watershed.
Right.
Crossing the county line means nothing to us.
And a lot of your processes tie in grant dollars like clean water funds and stuff like that, the LCC MAR. That's a caveat that we don't have time, nor do we have the expertise to do that. So that's one thing that you know, you as a watershed, you'll really excel at, I think.
Sarge Sands money comes in and a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how many times we're the only ones applying for the grants.
Right.
Yeah,
We did a lot of grant money.
Yeah, so to add to that point, Mr. Commissioner, the Boyd Sioux also works with the Red Board and taxes get paid into the Red Board, and the district has the ability to request funds from the Red Board as well for these projects. And so, yeah, it is these different funding caps that the Boyd Sioux can draw from that's beneficial for these projects, depending on what type of project it is. In addition to the professional staff that the Boyd Sioux has that specialize in water.
And that light was shed a number of years ago, and then Linda ended up your chairman. Or chairperson is on that board up there that could set some of that discretion, correct?
She's also president of Minnesota Watersheds, so
Okay.
very role that she has.
now, another good example is up in Wilson County with the ditch retrofits, we've gone a lot of side inlets and all that there. The state has given us good chunks of money to do all that. And if you've ever been up in that area, you don't see the ditches all washed out of the field right down into the ditch and where they gotta clean it out. They have it from wind erosion, but not from water. And
More comments? Questions?
So this buffer thing that surfaced a couple of meetings ago about the standard of a buffer, the width of the buffer, whether it's an inverted buffer and things like that. I think, in my opinion, I think that the buffer, wherever it fits the region, whatever the farmer decides he wants to do, however it fits, as long as it's buffered. You guys should have the discretion of where, if it's amendable or where you're headed.
Yeah, so the Boyd Sioux also just hired a third-party consultant as an independent contractor to work with landowners on implementation of the buffer or alternative practices outlined under the field office tech guide. So that's another step that they're taking to, again, work with landowners on their properties, their specific fields, right, to get it in compliance with the buffer law. And so I think that's a big step that the Boyd Sioux is taking for these ditch systems.
Good. Perfect.
Yes,
So when you're talking about buffers, is that at the landowner's expense that gets put in?
So right now, if the Boyd Sioux is doing a repair or an improvement project, they're including that buffer as part of the project, so it becomes a project cost, which ultimately gets paid by landowners, but it's done through the implementation of that project. Otherwise, it is at the sole cost of the landowner to implement that. Under the buffer law, that was all supposed to be done in 2018. Obviously, there's still parcels that need to come into compliance with the law. And so that's why the district now is working with that third-party consultant to come to the table with the landowner, with district staff, and see what they can do to work with that landowner to implement different practices that are offered under the law.
And if the ditch is clean, say it was just some type of repair, the ditch is clean. And the spoils ended up on the buffer, and that farmer wanted to replant, he can and leave that spoil right on that buffer? Is that an allowable process?
So with the projects that the Boyd Sioux does, they have two different permanent easements for the project. So there's a permanent channel easement and a permanent spoil easement. And the channel easement contains the channel itself, the bank, and then the buffer area, and they can't farm within that area. But the area outside of that buffer, they can continue farming that.
Thank you.
anything else? You have the list of ditches? Do we need to identify them for the record or not?
I'm just going off of my map that I have, so.
Should we identify them for the record, maybe?
Yeah, so he'll read them, but just a way to ensure that that everyone knows which ones are covered for sure. I know he's gonna read some of the numbers that he has, but it's all the ditches that Grant County's drainage authority over that are within Boyd Sioux's jurisdiction or Boyd Sioux's watershed boundaries. It'll be those ditches that'll now be transferred to the Boyd Sioux, but Aaron has this.
Everything west of the Pound-Deter watershed.
Okay.
So, Grant County ditch 20, consolidated judicial ditch 2, Grant County ditch 5, Grant County ditch 22, Grant County ditch 15, Grant County ditch 33, Grant County ditch 32, Grant County ditch 8, Grant County ditch 29, Grant County ditch 9, Grant County ditch 6, Grant County ditch 11. And ditch 3 and ditch 21 are already under the jurisdiction of the Boyd Sioux. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ditches that will remain under our jurisdiction.
6?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And as a sidebar of that, the day is coming when those 6 ditches will be in a watershed district or some form of government entity before this is all said and done. That's why we have this one watershed, one plan and all these other things going on, so there is some consistency.
Any other comments or questions? Bill, do you have anything?
Nope. I've asked what I wanted to ask.
Troy? Nope. Right?
No.
I'm fine. So at this point, if we have no more comments, then we'll close the public portion of the hearing. And Lucas, you wanna give me some leadership here on what we do next?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if you'd like, I can just go through the draft findings in order for this transfer, and then the board can take action on that if it so desires. But again, this is similar to what we did for Grant County ditches 21 and 3. It's relatively straightforward. The findings are just saying that these ditches that Aaron identified are under the jurisdiction of the county. County desires to transfer them to the Boyd Sioux under 103D 625 subdivision 1. Section 4 of this references the public comment that was received today, so I will include that within this draft for the final that can be signed, and we can actually sign this one today, but I'll just include that and we'll have that final version that includes the public comment. Section 5 just says upon conclusion of the public comment, the county finds that it has jurisdiction over these proceedings and pursuant to Minnesota statute section 103D 625 subdivision 1 desires to transfer drainage authority jurisdiction of the Grant County ditches to the district. The order, proposed order goes on to state that the district is to take over the ditches in their entirety as the takeover serves the purpose of Minnesota statute chapter 103D and benefits the public welfare and the public interest. That after the transfer is ordered, all proceedings for repair and maintenance of the Grant County ditches conform to Minnesota statutes chapter 103E. That upon filing of this order, the district shall have drainage authority jurisdiction over the entirety of the Grant County ditches, and the county auditor shall promptly transfer any documents related to the Grant County ditches to the district. That the parties shall cooperate in any additional steps required to properly transfer drainage authority jurisdiction of the Grant County ditches from the county to the district. It's essentially just saying that if you guys have any documents, any records on the plan specs for these ditches, and then any accounting for the ditches, that will all be transferred to the Boyd Sioux, and the Boyd Sioux will maintain those similar to what the county was doing and similar to what the Boyd Sioux does for all the other ditch systems that it has, which with this transfer, I believe will put the Boyd Sioux at over 70 ditch systems.
It doesn't specifically address it. Do we need to address the funds that go with the ditches being transferred as well?
And that's where it talks about the county auditor transferring the documents. to the
Documents, okay,
district.
it goes.
So that'll include that as well.
Okay, so then at this point, we call the question, right?
Yeah, if you guys don't have any questions on the proposed findings in order, then it could just be adoption of the document as discussed.
I will make a motion to accept the findings and orders.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second,
Second.
we have additional discussion concerning the findings and order. We'll do a roll call vote. You vote yes, say yay. You say against, say nay. Troy Johnson,
Yay.
Ken Johnson, yay. Bill LaValle,
Yay.
Bill Spear is absent. Dwight Novotny,
Yay.
motion carried. With that, do I need to do anything else?
That's it. It's a pretty straightforward process to do the transfer.
At this point, then I will adjourn the public hearing at 1:20, and thank you for your showing up and your participation.
Thank you all. Sure. You guys got a 24-hour call number that you can give.
I'll get you, sure.
Feel bad for